So here's the base of the mast. This is the first keel stem mast boat that I've ever owned, and it didn't come with any kind of wedges or for where I passed through the cabin top. So after doing research, I made 8 wedges out of white oak and essentially used a Dremel with a well, I got the taper roughed out at home. The gap around the perimeter is about 1 inch all the way around, so I tapered these wedges from about 1 1/8 down to 7/8. But then when I got here, I discovered really this collar is very asymmetrical and irregular, so I ended up using a Dremel with sandpaper to kind of custom mold each wedge into its position. And I've numbered them, and I have a picture, so I'll remember next year where they go. But tried to kind of round them on the inside, round them on the outside, and then round them over so that when I put mast boot tape on, it can tear. Also took care to orient the grain of the wedges so that they're flats on, meaning the grain is parallel to the surface, so they won't split as easily. So anyway, my first attempt at this. Hopefully we'll hold this thing soundly in place, and now just trying to get it sealed up.
After getting all those wedges in place, then I took some window flashing, which is kind of like a tarry rubber sheet with adhesive on one side, and spread it all around the base here. And then I took the mast boot tape and put it over the top. This is kind of like really, really wide riggers tape. It sort of self-seals. Got the boom attached, got the mainsail on, starting to look like a sailboat. I couldn't find a main sheet anywhere on the boat, but there was a big bin of blocks of various kinds, and I used the old jib halyard and was able to make one up. I figured out that the 2 tangs on the end of the mast here, one was for the main sheet and one was for the topping lift, which I kind of temporarily rigged something up for. I have no idea how the outhaul was originally set up on this, but I managed to find a little shackle that I put on the end and a bit of line, and I have something temporarily rigged up. I can improve it later. There's this really interesting casting built into the end of the boom. Maybe this was part of how the outhaul worked. I'm not sure. There's this sort of captive groove with 2 pins. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like someone has at some point set this up for 2 reefing lines. There's 2 cheek blocks here, and then up further on the boom there's 2 jam cleats.